Today I'm sharing the secrets that big time publishers don't want independent authors to know. Coming up right after this. Welcome to the Indie Author Pro Show. I am your host, Ryan C. Greene, founder of Indie Author Pro. And today I'm sharing the secrets that top publishers don't want independent authors to know. Listen, if you are an independent author, I don't know if you've been like me and maybe you've tried to get a publishing deal at some point in your life. I know when I first got started writing books, it seemed like everyone was romanticizing the idea of sending off your manuscript to big time publishers and getting a stack of rejection letters, right? Like that was something cool and something to aspire to, and I learned that you had to have a literary agent, right? You had to go and have someone else tell you that your book was good enough for them to go and try to tell someone else your book was good enough. And then you get the stack of rejection letters from literary agents. But here's the thing, we're going to talk about today how you can stop wasting time trying to get, signed with literary agents. Stop wasting time trying to get a big time publishing deal. You can go out here and create a real revenue stream, grow a scalable business on your own by being an independent author. And that's really the whole crux of what Indie Author Pro was designed to do. Show you how to go out there and build a business with your books on your own. So I'm going to share some secrets today that the publishers don't want you to know, because if you knew these secrets, then you learn, we'd all realize that we don't really need the big time publisher. What a big time publisher would do for you, back in the day, they'd get you in bookstores, but guess what? There aren't any bookstores anymore, right? Back in the day, they'd give you signing bonus, but guess what? They aren't giving signing bonuses like that if you're not famous anymore, right? And most of those signing bonuses are recoupable anyway. So if you don't sell the books, the signing bonus goes back. So when you can get past that and realize that I don't need a signing bonus, I don't need to be in bookstores to go out there and have success, then you can really start to unlock the power of being an indie author. And so secret number one we want to talk about is that the money isn't in the book. Okay, as an independent author, you have to understand that the money isn't in the book, and the publisher, that's what they want you to believe, that it's the book. You got to have this book. We're going to give you all this money for the book. But the money isn't in the book. The money is in the content in which you write in the book. So you can take that money or that book, that content from the book, and do so many things with it, right? And we have another whole episode I've done on different ways that you can exploit your content from the book. So I won't go through all of that again. But even nonfiction books can be made into movies. They can be made into audios. There's other entertaining ways that you can convert your book information into other means. So the book is not the end all be all. The book is the beginning. So the money, when you're talking about building a business, is not just in the book. So make sure you go and watch the other episode on how to really maximize your revenue from your book if you haven't done so already. Secret number two is that the barriers of entry no longer exist. See, back in the day, traditional publishing, if you wanted to have a book published, you had to sign with one of the top 5 publishing houses, right? Or else you wouldn't get your book anywhere. Independent publishing, those bookstores weren't putting independent authors on bookshelves. They were frowned, they were shunned, they were frowned upon, right? It's kind of like the plague, the scourge if you had an independent book. You didn't get that respect. But now that's different. So, those barriers of entry have gone, where now anyone can go and write a book, and you can go and publish your book and be out there just like anyone else. You have access now to all the top resources that any other publishing company will have, where you can produce a professional book just like any other book on the shelf. So those barriers of entry are gone. So that was really the only thing they held. That was their trump card. That was their ace of spades that they held. That was their big joker that they held, was that they knew that they had the barriers of entry. You couldn't do anything without them. But now that those barriers of entry are gone, you can go out there and really have success without having to sign with a publisher. Secret number 3 is that, you can release your book instantly. The speed to market is really one of the biggest selling points that you have as an indie author. It's one of your biggest advantages that you have as an author. When you sign with a publisher, you ever heard, the people who sign with major publishers, you'll hear them announce, I have a book coming out in 18 months. I have a book coming out in 2 years. Sometimes because they haven't written the book yet, but when you're an independent publisher, you can go out and write a book in 3 days and have it released next week. And that speed to market is what's going to always put you ahead of everyone else. If there's a hot topic that's going on right now, if you want to put out a book right now, as we're living in 2020, if you want to put out a book right now about how to survive a pandemic, how to socially thrive in a time of quarantine, That was a freebie. Somebody can write that book now if you like. But if you wanted to write that book and do a traditional publisher, how long would it take you to get that out? But if you wanted to independently publish that book and you could write it out, you could have that book done in a day. You could have it instantly released the same day it was done. So that's huge. That's where you're able to be a lot more nimble when you're independent, as opposed to dealing with the big bureaucracy of a large publisher. They just can't move as quickly. If you're a cheetah, you can get around quickly, but when you're a big elephant, you kind of slumber and you kind of takes a long time to turn around. So understand that the advantage of being an independent author is that your speed to market is so much greater than dealing with dealing with a traditional publisher. Secret number 4, which really isn't that big of a secret, but it's important to remember, is that you maintain total control. You maintain total control over your book, the cover, the content, who it goes to, what you get to say. And that's important because I can't tell you how many times I've seen authors who get censored by their publisher in one way or another, because they have big money on the line, right? And they have other authors that they represent, so they've got to make sure that whether if you're saying something that's not going to hurt the brand and everyone else, but when you can maintain total control, you control your message. No one can get in the way of that. You control your distribution. You control where the book goes. You can control the pricing. And that's important because, if you have a book and you price your book and realize that the price is too low or too high, you can instantly change it if you're an independent author, right? If you want to update a book, you can instantly go in there and do that without having to worry about going through all the changes that you have to go through with a traditional publisher. I can't tell you, my first couple of books, how many different covers I've had for my book, because I was able to go and instantly and quickly do that change because I owned the book. I was an independent publisher. So things like that where, if I was with a Random House or a Penguin, I couldn't just go and say, hey, I want to change my book cover now. I need to change my book cover again, or there's a mistake in my book. I want to change that or change the layout or add an offer. My older books, as my business grows, there's things that I offer now that I didn't offer back then when I started writing. However, the books that I wrote back then are still relevant. So if people are going to buy my older books, I want to make sure I have updated content in there. I want to make sure I have updated promotional pages in there. I want to make sure that I'm offering my new programs in there that I didn't have before. So by self-publishing and by being an independent author, I'm able to go in there and do that quickly without having to worry about asking anyone else for permission, waiting for them, paying them a whole bunch of money to go there and do that, taking all these old books off the shelves. Those are just some of the things that you can do. Some of the secrets. So I want to encourage you that if you are considering writing a book and you're still out there trying to go the traditional route, I want to encourage you to think differently about it. I want to encourage you, and give you the belief that you can do this on your own. You don't need to have a major publisher. You can go out there and do this thing independently, and I want to help you. With Indie Author Pro, we will help you write your book. We will help you market your book. We have several programs that will walk you through the process, that we will show you how to do it. So all you have to do is just set up a call with us, set up a discovery call at indieauthorpro.com. We can talk about your book project, your book idea. We've helped hundreds of authors along the way who had success, and we've helped people from all across the world who have been clients of ours, who have seen us, who are going out there and using some of the things that we teach, some of our tools and tips to make sure they go out there and sell more books. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and set your appointment today, set your discovery call with us. We'd love to talk to you about your project and show you how we can help you out and see if it's a good time for us to work together. So I look forward to talking to you. I thank you for watching this episode, and I'll see you on the next show.